We're back with Travel Channel Presents.
Through their music and words, the Beatles touched the lives of millions. But how did four young lads from Liverpool come together to form the most influential band of all time? We're about to take you back to where they once belonged, to their homes and schools, to reveal their roots and the inspiration for many of their songs.
All four of them had grown up together in a similar area, so they had lots of jokes in common. They had places in common, so they talked about a certain fish shop or a certain street or a certain bus route. Everybody knew it.
George Harrison grew up in the working-class area of Speke on the outskirts of Liverpool. The Harrison family home became the setting for many of the band's rehearsals, thanks to the tolerance of George's family.
We were more that life's a challenge and life's a lot of fun, and, you know, we sort of took it with a lot of zest. And so it was more, go for it, kid, rather than, oh my God, what's going to happen to him, you know.
A few streets away at 20 Fortland Road is Paul McCartney's boyhood home. Today, this modest terraced house is open to visitors and presented as it would have looked in the 50s. It was here that Paul and John wrote many of their early songs.
It's the McCartney-Lennon partnership, which is amazing when you think that they grew up so near each other and went to roughly the same sort of schools and were friends from an early age, and it became this amazing writing partnership. That's just chance.
John Lennon's childhood home, Mendips, is nearby. Surprisingly, it's in a slightly more affluent suburban area. This is where he lived with his Aunt Mimi. It was generously donated by Yoko Ono to Britain's conservation body, the National Trust, and was recently opened to the public for the first time.
John used to always tell me about Mendips, of course, because this was his childhood home. And so that when I first came in here, I felt like I know the place.
The Travel Channel was granted privileged access to film inside and met custodian Matthew Whitfield, who has the extraordinary job of living in John's house and showing visitors around.
Okay, so here we are in the porch, but this is no ordinary porch. This was the very porch where John's Aunt Mimi used to banish him and Paul to rehearse the guitar because she simply couldn't bear the sound of their cacophony inside the house. Okay, so here we are in the kitchen. Mimi would have used this kitchen to cook for the family and cook John's favourite meal, which was egg and chips, which they would have eaten next door in the morning room.
The house has been painstakingly restored to how it would have looked in the 1950s when John lived here.
This is John's room, a tiny room. Here on his bedside table, we've got a selection of a few of John's favourite books, Alice Through the Looking Glass and The Wind in the Willows. Obviously, John was a huge music fan, and one of the most distinctive features of this room is this 1950s speaker, which John wired himself down to the radio in the morning room so he could listen to his favourite radio shows.
Ringo Starr's family home at Admiral Grove is typical of the thousands built in rows in the Victorian era for working-class families. Today, former neighbour Margaret Groves lives in Ringo's old home, and we can reveal a secret. If you're lucky, she'll even invite Beatles fans in to have a look.
They kiss the walls and they, you know, the touching and touching. I can't explain it really, it's just a feeling they have to think that they've been in one of the Beatles' houses.
This area of Liverpool is known locally as Dingle, but to Beatles fans worldwide, it's Ringo Land. Across the road is his former school, St. Silas. You can also visit John's school, Quarrybank, where he was known as a troublemaker and failed his exams. It was while here that he formed his first band, the Quarrymen, and took the name of the group from the school song. Band member Len Gary was also at school with Paul at the prestigious Liverpool Institute.
We used to meet for morning assembly at 9 o'clock. You had to be in here at 9 o'clock sharp. And I used to stand probably just where I'm standing now. And Paul McCartney would often stand by me and we'd sing On Christian Soldiers and various hymns. Paul would do the harmony to some of the hymns, I used to think, oh, he's got potential, he's got quite a good voice there.
George was also at school here, and John had started at the Liverpool Art College next door, where he met his future wife Cynthia Powell and best friend and former Beatles bass player Stuart Sutcliffe. The Travel Channel was given an exclusive tour of the college, including John's former lecture theatre.
This is the life drawing room, so this is where John used to draw the life model, and apparently one day he was feeling a bit rebellious, and as he often did, I believe. So he actually refused to draw the model herself, and he just did a little drawing of her wristwatch. This used to be the canteen. The band used to practice in here. People actually like to come and just stand here and go, ooh, the Beatles played here.
They say you never forget your school days. We can reveal a secret about Paul McCartney.
Paul had, on a whim really, had come round this building in the dead of night to make a film about, well, just reminiscing about his days as a schoolboy here.
Paul was shocked to find his former school in a state of disrepair.
He'd seen the terrible state the building was in, so he was kind of fired by, we must do something. And of course, I was fired by, well, I can tell you what you can do.
What Paul could do was restore this beautiful old building and establish a fame academy, the Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. And he did. So travelers to Liverpool can still visit most of the places that were part of the Beatles' early history and retrace the footsteps of the Fab Four. Whether you're a diehard fan or just curious, why not take a ticket to ride on a fascinating journey through Beatles Liverpool by bus? A replica of the one used in the 1967 movie, The Magical Mystery Tour.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Magical Mystery Tour of Liverpool.
Tour guide Eddie Porter is on hand to lead the way from Penny Lane to Strawberry Fields.
Beatle music has been a constant happy thing in my whole life. It's the soundtrack of my life.
And there's like a real brotherhood and sisterhood of fans who all share the same love of the Beatles and are going to the same place that they've always dreamed of going.
Today, this American tour group is even joined by a Beatles tribute band.
We love you, Beatles, oh yes we do. We love you, Beatles, and we do. 4-year-old John asked his Auntie Mimi, can we go and see the band play in the garden at Strawberry Field? John said as he watched the band play, he had an idea. I'd like to be in the band one day.
Strawberry Fields was, and still is, a children's home. One of John's earliest memories was going to a garden festival here.
A lot of people don't realize that Strawberry Fields was a real place that inspired John for that song, so it's nice to be here.
Next stop, St. Peter's Church. Here rests the grave of Eleanor Rigby, immortalized in the Beatles song.
On the 6th of July 1957, they had the annual garden fete at St. Peter's Church in this back field here. And the Quarrymen played. After the first show in the afternoon, John Lennon met a boy from the audience called James Paul McCartney. The Lennon and McCartney partnership was born here at St. Peter's Church. It's only rock and roll, but I like it.
Today, the city of Liverpool has honored the Fab Four by naming a housing estate after them.
This is very exciting. I mean, I can't imagine living on the street writing my address, you know, John Lennon Drive or Paul McCartney Way.
To actually come to Ringo Drive is like coming home, you know?
It's like a pilgrimage.
I'm in awe right now. I don't know what else to say.
So if you want a trip down memory lane to Beatles haunts in Liverpool, the Magical Mystery Tour is the trip to take. Coming up, we go back to where it all began.
This is really the thrill of my life.
Unearth secrets of the legendary Cavern Club.
This will be the top of all vacations that we have ever had.
And meets original Beatle Pete Best.
Welcome to the Casbah.
The imagine.